it's Niba. Happy July. I'm sorry, this is a weird location and if I'm too close. Again, it's the only place I had, but I really wanted to do this. My June reads. So these are all the books that I read in June, and I decided that I would either do it at the end of June or like the beginning of July. So July 1st, I thought let me begin by saying all the books I read last month. Hopefully this might become a monthly thing, hopefully. But I thought let me do it for now. It's not that many books, so this won't be that long of a video, hopefully. Let me start off with the first book. Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Saunders. This book killed me. You'll get the reference if you read the book. But this is a classic, and I know many read it for high school. I never did though. I almost had to. We were in different groups, like in I think my sophomore year of high school or something. We had like different groups, and all of us had different books within our groups, like a few different books throughout the year. And one of the books was Catcher in the Rye, but I never got it. I think I got the Bell Jar instead, which I liked. But anyway, Catcher in the Rye. So I never got a chance to read it, so I was like, let me read it. I heard good things, like the classics. And then I decided to look into it a little more and stuff. It's very controversial, to say the least. I feel like it's very... half the people either love it or half the people either hate it, I feel like. Which is very interesting, but it all comes down to the narrator. People either love him, I feel like, and they're like, oh, I understand you, I understand your struggles and your questions, I can relate to that, that's how I was in high school, or that's how I feel now, or whatever. And then there's people who just hate him. They're like, he's such a spoiled little brat. And I honestly feel like he's both. he's both, you know, and which I think is a good character. He can be complex, like he can have moments where you can relate to him. You're like, oh, I totally understand the struggle, I understand the issues that you're going through, the questions you have, I have similar questions. But at the same time be like, wow, you're rich and this and that. And obviously I feel like you can tell that he has a thing, depression, definitely, and probably other things, so that's also a factor I feel like people don't consider. But it's basically just he gets expelled, and it's basically the weekend, that weekend of like his last kind of weekend after he gets expelled. It's really interesting. It's not like a huge like, oh, this is happening, that's happening, action filled, but it's still just a nice story, I feel like. And again, sometimes it can get hard if you don't connect with the narrator at all, like not even a little bit, then yeah, you're not gonna like this. But I feel like I think you should give it a chance. It's a classic. So the next book, if you've watched any of my videos, you know I'm obsessed with supernatural, and I have this Family Don't End with Blood. This was amazing. I definitely cried. I felt like, cause I'm just so into the whole fandom that I get so emotionally invested. And then it was so nice to hear little notes from so many of the actors, and Jared wrote a whole chapter, and that chapter really, like, I've connected with that chapter, and it was so emotional, and so many other people throughout were so emotional. And it's crazy how many lives have been affected by Supernatural, and you can only imagine. This has been going on for 12 years and now 13, so that's a lot of time, especially if people have been watching since the beginning. People started in the middle. People literally might be joining today as we speak. Somebody might start the first episode of Supernatural. It's a crazy thing to think about. And it's just not just Supernatural, but like TV in general and how much it can affect you. This is one of my first fandoms that I've been. Otherwise, I like shows. I like different things, but I've never been a fandom or obsessed as I am with this show. I don't know what about it. I just love Sam and Dean. Those characters are connected with. So if you love Supernatural, you're gonna love this, and I definitely recommend you trying to find this. It's at Barnes and Noble and stuff. You can definitely find this. It's again just speeches and stuff, just not speeches, just like letters, little chapters, little notes from all these different actors in the show. And Jared's chapter, which is at the end, it's amazing. And all of them, like Kim, Brianna, Matt, Mark, make like a note, and then Misha and makes a little note. Jensen says a little thing like about how, you know, it's nice. And again, there's fans in here too, and how their lives have been affected. Like they got married through Supernatural and stuff. It's just, you have to read it if you're a fan. Let's see. Now here's another classic, Fahrenheit 451. This was really, really good. This is a really good book, I thought. Like, in the sense of the message. because I love reading, you know, I'm a reader. I've been trying to read more, like lately I've kind of stopped for some reason, but I remember I always loved reading, but lately for some reason I stopped. This is why I'm trying to do this monthly thing, and this is one of those great books because it talks about the importance of books and not having censorship and stuff, and how we should be able to talk about important issues without being PC culture and stuff. How I mean, I think it's important to have that too, and not just be. And people try to use, oh, I don't want to be PC just to be racist or sexist or something like that, which no. But there are instances where you really should have discussions, and you're too afraid that you're gonna hurt somebody's feelings and stuff, and that's not good. And this is an important book because this is a firefighter who in this time, in this future, this dystopian future, they burn books instead of stopping fires. They start fires to burn books, and until one day one of them is like, no, wait, this is wrong, and realizes that I want to save these books. And it's really interesting, and the whole analogy of fire and how fire can be used for different things, like burning obviously, but also it can keep you warm and stuff in a cold night and stuff. So how that whole symbolism of the fire was really amazing, and I just really like the whole message behind this, and how it was interesting because you know usually in these type of books it's the government who's like, no, you can't read or you can't do this. In this one it's not, it's people in the society ourselves done that to each other, which is really interesting, and it's such an interesting discussion about the humans, and even us today can relate to just feeling depressed or just feeling like, oh, this is it, just going 9 to 5, and you have to read this. I feel like, let's see, then I have Everyday. This was an interesting book. I didn't expect to really like I was like, okay, let me just give it a chance, because one of the people that I booktube that I watch, King Books, she recommended this, and I actually read it like the first few pages before, like years ago, I remember, but for some reason I never got it. But then I decided to give it another chance, and I liked it. It's basically this thing. I don't know if it's like I don't know if it's exactly human, but I think human basically, that changes every day to something else. So it might be this person, it might be like Rhonda one day, and then Steve the next day. I don't know why those names, but so it changed. The character changes every day until one day he's in a body and he likes this girl and he really starts falling for her, and he just feels this need to, like, I need to go see her. And it's just really interesting to think of it. It's this idea that I haven't really heard other people do, so that's interesting. That, and it allows you to really think about the soul and not just the body. And it's just a lot of things happen. I feel like, and it definitely gets picked up a little in the middle, because there's, I don't want to give too much away, but there's something that happens that kind of like, ooh, it picks up, I feel like, the book even more. At the beginning, it's like, oh, that's sweet, he likes her, but then it really picks up after a few of the people that he takes over, I guess. It's a hard concept to kind of understand officially, but it's really good, and I would definitely recommend you pick this up. Let's see. And oh, actually, speaking of going back to Fahrenheit 451 for a second, I just found out they're making a movie out of about it, and guess who? I, Superwoman, Lilly Singh, will be part of it. I just found out that, which is so funny, because I was reading it as she tweeted out that, oh, she's gonna be in it, which is so cool. And this is her book, How to Be a Boss. I am such a fan of her. She's so confident. She's so inspiring. She's such a hard worker. Just so I can go on and on about her. And so when she was writing this book, I was so excited to meet her, and I got to meet her and everything, and it was just. It was a really great day that I got to meet her, and I got this book. And this isn't really like stories or anything. Like, I have other YouTuber book, one by Shane Dawson actually, called It Gets Worse. But and that one is basically his stories, like little stories about him, and that's usually how it goes. Like, I have a Mindy Kaling one, and that's how it goes. But this one is not really specific stories. It's just kind of little chapters of little things you should do, basically, oh, to kind of help you go on your journey and become a boss. They're not really specific, like, to Lilly, but they have that Lilly twist to them. Basically, like, if you watch her YouTube, you can definitely, if you read this, you're like, yeah, that's her voice, you can hear it, you can feel like, yep, that's Lilly. But it's basically like little advice things that you might see on anywhere, basically, but the way she says it, it's definitely her own twist, and I like that. And the pages are really pretty, actually, like, so colorful, so I like that. And then last but not least, Eleanor and Park. So again, I told you I was having like a, I'm not reading that much, and I heard this was like a cute little book, and it was. I really like this little book. Like, of course, they have issues with it, like people talk about, but you have to remember this wasn't set in like modern time, too. So you also have to add to that. But also, I really thought it was like a little cute little story. Like, it's not like, ooh, one of my favorites or anything, or like, oh, let me analyze it all over the place. But it was a cute little thing. It's a good thing if you're having like a, I don't know the exact word, but just if you haven't been reading and you really feel like it, this is a book to start. I feel like, because it's like easy, but it's a cute little story. It's like a romance between Eleanor and Park. They're from like different worlds, basically, you could say, but they're both kind of outsiders, and it's really cute, and it's not, and they aren't the stereotypical like characters you would expect. So I like that. There are some issues which again I understand people have and why they have them, but I thought it was a cute little thing. Again, it's not like my top 10 or anything. It's not like I'm gonna go and analyze this, but this was a really cute book. But again, so you can see it. I really liked it. Why does it feel like it's upside down, but it's not? Sorry. Okay, but those were my 6 books for this June. Hopefully, I'll do one for July. I hope you like this. I hope maybe one of them you are interested in now. I If you want, I could do reviews for one of these or all of these, whatever you say. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any recommendations for me or what to read in July or any place, leave it in the comment below. Bye.